Yemen is unraveling. In the north, airstrikes pound Iran-backed rebel strongholds. Among their recent targets, the presidential palace in the capital, Sana'a. In the south, the streets are run by a patchwork of militias, though it's unclear who is actually in control. Some are loyal to their sponsors in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf, others to extremist groups, all vying for control of Aden's port and precious oil resources.
Life here is dangerous and chaotic, but surprisingly, it's not the bombs and the bullets that are killing the most people. It's the humanitarian crisis that is growing by the day as Yemen edges closer to becoming a failed state.
Outside the Sadaqah hospital, medical waste festers in the hot noon sun. Al-Qaeda graffiti still daubs the walls. Inside, the situation is hardly better. The hospital is in desperate need of everything from ventilators to basic antibiotics.
This is a more serious condition.
Dr. Nahla Arishi started working here 24 years ago.
Fever with difficulty in breathing. This is the worst situation now. It is aggravated now.
Because of the war?
Because of the war, yes. We are trying. Our doctors trying, but this is our possibilities. This is what is in our hand.
3-year-old Khadr has been sick with a serious lung infection for weeks.
When did you come to the hospital?
His mother, Yamal, only brought him to the hospital 3 days ago. She says the journey from her village was too far and too expensive. Life is hard since the war. Disease has spread, she tells me. He's my only child. Chicago pediatrician John Kaler is here to try to help, a rare visitor from the outside world. On this day, he's visiting the neonatal ward.
Is the soap?
No.
There is no soap, just bottled water.
So in addition to be preemie, these babies are jaundiced, right? And so they're going to get phototherapy.
The newborns have to share an incubator, increasing their risk of infection. Doctors and nurses are also in short supply, leaving mothers to step in and lend a hand.
At this point in time, even if we got more beds here to fill the numbers of patients, we don't have the staff.
When you look at doctors like Dr. Nahla, who could be overseas, are you impressed?
I'm not just impressed, I'm awe-inspired by them. This is a passion for them. The doctors that person these hospitals, those are the real heroes.
Heroes armed with little more than determination and resilience.
What goes through your mind when you see a child die because you don't have the right equipment to care for that child?
I can't speak. Also, I am a mother. I am a mom. I have 3 kids. But this is what's in our hand. This is our facilities. And we are daily speaking. But no one heard us.
A cry for help. But for Khadr, it is too late. He dies the day after our visit. Another death that could have been prevented in Yemen's forgotten war. This is how Ahmed Helmi spends his days, lying on the concrete floor, trying to swat away the flies with what little energy he has. Looking at his tiny body, ravaged by hunger, you would never guess that Ahmed is 5 years old. His brother died of malnutrition 2 months ago. We're in a war. There's no food, no water, his mother Sumaya says. Only God knows our pain. It's a pain shared by too many here. In the same small village, we meet Abdul Rahman, an overwhelmed father of 5. He's worried about his son Abdul Wahab. There's no doctor nearby and no scale. but he can't weigh more than 5 pounds. The problem is that my wife doesn't have a lot of breast milk, he says. She's sick too. And it's not hard to see why.
This is the kitchen.
There's almost no food in it.
شوفي في خبز so they have some bread وهناك في شوفي بصل some onions واللحم ما في no meat.
Hunger has always been a problem in Yemen, but 2.5 years of war has starved the country. 3 million people are displaced. Many live in filthy camps where disease and infection are rife and malnutrition difficult to combat.
There is food in the markets. It's just that few people can actually afford it. And that's what's so tough to get your head around about this crisis. It's not caused by a bad harvest or a drought. It's caused by man.
A Saudi Arabia-led blockade has cut the amount of food and medicine getting into Yemen by more than half. What does come through is heavily taxed along the way. Rural clinics struggle to meet the scale of the need. 10-month-old Ali has gained 7 ounces since his last visit, a welcome improvement, but he is still suffering from severe malnutrition. You haven't done anything wrong, the nurse tells his mother, but he's still weak, so I really want you to focus on this problem. For Ahmed, it may be too late. He's been sick for years now. He only speaks when the pain is too much. He tells me my tummy hurts, my head hurts, Samaya says. He cries. Hardship and hunger. This is Yemen's story. My whole life, Agony and I are like lovers, this Yemeni song goes. Why, world, do you only show us the terrible things? But the world doesn't hear his lament, while the silence of starvation tightens its grip on a forgotten people. Clarissa Ward, CNN, Lahej Province, Yemen.